Hey guys, Stacy here, We Grow Again. Welcome to another episode on mixing up some soil, either for the garden beds or your containers to freshen them up, or your succulents. Today we're going to do succulents. Now I want to show you different ways you can do it. You can use a bunch of different types of soil. Now I'm using garden raised bed soil and the garden soil for my succulents in pots. Now when you do this, you have to know what you're doing, and you have to mix it correctly to make sure you have a nice mixture. Now, I want to show you the way I do this for my succulents. We're going to get to the garden bed mix in another video, which is basically this. And this is my Coco Loco, which is right here. This is my Coco Loco mix. It's this soil. It's really airy. It's got a lot of organic matter in it. Norwegian kelp meal, earthworm castings, back guano, forest aged products from Mother Earth herself down below the forest floor. And I have a lot of perlite in my containers because we get a lot of rot here in Florida. We get a lot of moisture in the air, a lot all year round. So that's my Coco Loco. And the way I mix my soil up, guys, is to take equal parts of the organics mix, which is right here. This is my new one I bought. I usually get the jungle growth, but this one is really rich in organic matter, and it says it does the same thing with growing big beautiful flowers and plants. It's for vegetables, flowers, herbs, just everything you have. And when I opened it, so you can use this in the ground or in your containers. Now when you're using this in containers for the garden, like when it's garden soil, like I said, you got to mix it pretty decent. So we're gonna get a couple of scoops here. Just going to show you guys how we do this. Now if I was doing this for my garden beds, I'd mix equal parts of my organics mix or my jungle growth with equal parts bush doctor, and then throw a little bit of perlite in there, because this garden bed soil does not have perlite in it, but my Coco Loco does. So I just like to put a little extra perlite in there. I have it laying around. I buy the 16-pound bag. It just does really good here. And we're going to mix this up for our succulents. So we want a really good airy soil for our succulents, guys, if you're using the garden soil bag. Now if you're not used to your succulents and you really haven't been growing for too long, I suggest you just get the same bag of soil. It's the same bag, except it says potting soil on it instead of garden soil. And it's going to have a lot more, it's going to be so much more fluffy than this. If you check it in the store, you're going to see that it's got the same little balls in there, which is fertilizer, but it's really muddy compared to that other succulent soil that's already ready to put in the pots. You don't even have to mix it. I mix that stuff with a little Coco Loco. You can check out my videos that I did very back in the beginning when I just started doing YouTube, and I mixed up my Coco Loco, the succulent soil, and some perlite, just to give you guys an idea. Now for my succulents, I don't use these big wood chips and stuff like that. I leave that for my garden beds. And you just want to make sure you have a lot of perlite, a lot of sand in here. This organics mix, the reason why I'm using it for my succulents and mixing it with the garden soil is this stuff is full of nothing but peat moss, sphagnum moss, forest age products, and compost. That's it. That is all that's in there. Natural ingredients. Sorry about that. That's my phone. Natural ingredients in there, so they can, grow and be healthy without any additives, chemical additives in there. So that's how we mix the succulent stuff. Now I'm going to put a little more of this organics mix because it's so rich in the peat moss, and it's really fluffy. You can see how fluffy that is. It's like air. There's a lot of wood chips in it, which is really good for succulents. And we're going to put it in there till we feel it's right. So this soil, when you clump it together, your soil should be pre-moistened. It should fall apart. See that? Do you see how this soil totally falls apart when you fist it? Totally falls apart. That's what you want. That's how you know it's going to be a good succulent soil. So we got a lot in there. And then we're going to add our perlite that we have. So this is my perlite. I just cupped it out. One styrofoam cup. Big one in a tote like this. Definitely. You don't want to inhale that powder, guys. I buy the big bag, the 16-pound bag of perlite, because I use it everywhere. It's a lot cheaper. And that's why I use this garden soil, because this garden soil and raised bed soil or jungle growth soil is only like $8 a bag. So for $16, I got 2 cubic feet instead of, you know, versus a couple ounces. And they're going to be fine. Now you do have to watch the watering. Just let your plants stay dry between the waterings a little more. And we're going to mix our succulents up in here, guys. I think I'm going to add a little more sphagnum moss. And I want to show you how to repot your plants. We're going to bring this in. We're going to repot a succulent for today. I'll do a garden bed video for you on another day. This is crazy. I don't have my other camera, but that's okay. We're getting her done. Gonna come here. Whoop. And then we're gonna get this terracotta pot. So we transplanted our orchid in a terracotta pot, and we took the other terracotta pot she was in, and we're gonna use it because it's got a bunch of holes we drilled out. Gotta have drainage. They love terracotta pots. So since this stuff is beautiful, nice and chunky, we are good. Look, we got a leaf in there, fell in there. Take that guy out. We're going to do this real quick. Succulents, they just require the same sun. The first day, I usually keep my transplanted succulents out of the sun because they get a little shocked. I try not to disturb too much roots on my succulents, and we'll show you. We're going to transplant these beautiful cactuses right there. And this soil's great. Look at that. They're going to be happy. I can even add more perlite if you're scared. You can definitely put more perlite in here. We transplanted that little gal yesterday. And you can see they're doing good. And I don't water my succulents right away. I keep them in the same amount of sun though. And that's about it. We're going to fill this pot. It's hard to do one-handed, but we're going to give it a go. You want to only fill it like, you know, 3/4, half 3/4 of the way, depending on how big the plants are you're putting in there. So if your plants are pretty big, you want to leave a good amount of room. Now we're going to try to transplant these little guys. You want to squeeze your pot a little bit around. Make sure you loosen the roots. Take the cactus out. You can see it's really root bound. Now we treated this. These are fairly new. We treated them. And you want to just, oop, see that? Let's not make a mess. We can do it straight over here. You don't want to disturb too many roots. Just tickle them, spread them out. You want them like spread out just like that. So they know, okay, well guess what? I'm going to spread my roots, guys. We're going to do good. And you just want to bury it just up to that rim where it was. You don't want to bury cactuses anymore. So we're going to have to add some soil in here. Ouch. That is a prickly cactus, so wear some gloves. My hands are so tough, but guys, they've gotten ripped up from gardening, but I don't care. You know what? Life is too short to put gloves on and not feel this gorgeous, gorgeous soil we made. You can see as long as it clumps together and breaks apart, you're good. You don't want it muddy. If you feel it's muddy, take them out, redo it. You know, you don't want to leave them in there because they're going to rot. I usually leave them in the same sun after the first day. You can, you know, put them in the shade the first day you transplant. I'll leave these guys on the table here, the rest of my plants. And then what we can do is just put them in the same amount of sun tomorrow, and we know we'll be good. Make sure you're putting them in straight. We're going to do a little three cactuses. I love these little guys. They're so pinchy and they hurt so much. Make sure you wear gloves, guys. I like to just get in there. I don't have time to put gloves on and off, but that's horrible. And this one is, I've got to be really careful. Now these are going to require all the same care. And that's why we're doing this. That's why we're putting them all in the same container. Look how root bound that is. Too much, guys. Too root bound. It's not sucking up the proper water. It will not grow. So we're not going to water these since we're breaking these roots up a lot. You know, a regular transplant, we just wait a few days to water. This, I'm going to have to wait at least like 3-4 days to water this. Because if not, we're going to get some rot here. You want to tuck the roots down. Put some soil, and then we're going to backfill. We're just going to, that soil you had left over in your pots, definitely use it, you know, mix it in there. Get your screens out, and that's it, guys. You just want to backfill a little bit. We'll mix this in. how easy it is to repot your succulents, keep them happy. And then all my succulents, you know, all succulents are cacti, but not all cacti are succulents. So a regular succulent is like these hen and chicks, which I'm going to put on the sides. I'm going to like put these little hen and chicks, when we fill these in, all on the sides to make them grow. So that's going to look cute, and then I'm going to put something in the center there. So that's going to look really cute once we do that. And then I'm going to put a little orchid bark that we had left over from transplanting our orchid. We're going to put that orchid bark in there, and we're going to make her happy. You just want to backfill. Push it down. You don't want to cover them any more than what they were in the other pot, but you just want to press down enough so they're snuggled in there. See? You can put a little more. You're going to have a lot of soil in here, and you can always pull them out a little bit, you know. You can always pull them out and pick them up and fix them. Ouch. That's crazy. I should be wearing gloves. It's kind of dumb, really. Why pinch your fingers if you don't have to, right? We're just going to... It's okay if you get soil on them. We're just going to tap them off. They are resilient. They are really nice. They will forgive you. Just be careful. You can even take a little brush, like little paint brushes that are really small. I usually take a brush and just clean them off. Now this has a little baby on it, this one, so I'm actually going to turn it to face this way. I should have did that earlier, but it's okay. Snuggle her back in. You can see the little baby right there. And these are going to look great, guys. And tuck them in. Make sure they're all, see how it goes down? I'm going to make sure they're all tucked, they're all snuggled in, and they're little homes. Sorry guys, this is so hard to do, one-handed, without my camera. I'm making a mess. Do this outside or with a newspaper underneath here. That would be smart, so we don't make a mess. But I don't waste my soil. I'm just going to sweep it up and put it on in my bin here, whatever we don't use. And this looks pretty good. If you have to, you can get some with your hands. Fill it in. These sides, these little sides are hard, guys, but you know, don't make it hard on yourself. Just go like this and get it on in there. Push it down. If you have to, like, get a little stick or something, or scissors, or just be careful if you got scissors, and like just press it in there if you have to. See, just press it, get it in there, and then once you're done, you know, you're good to go for a few days. We can keep her in here. These cactuses need a little more soil on them, just so that's covered right there. But that's basically it, guys. They're gonna look beautiful. And then I'm gonna top with this nice looking orchid bark. Right here, let me see if I can get it open. Give you a little look-see. That is, right here on this flower is, this cactus is a flower that they hot glued on in the store. So I ripped it off. See that? It's no good. I don't like it. And see what it does to the skin and stuff? It totally pushes all the needles. So she's really pretty. I'm so happy. And we're going to put these little succulents. So these are hen and chicks. Pacific blue ice, and since these require very, very little water, they get watered pretty much like a cactus all at once, and then let them stay dry for a good few weeks in between waterings. I only water my cactuses maybe once a month to once every 3 weeks or so. It depends how much water I think they need, but the hen and chicks really require very little water, and that's why I'm planting them in here with this little guy. These little guys, actually. So we're just gonna tuck them roots down, make sure it's all covered, snuggled in. Wherever you want them is fine. And just watch the watering. Just put all the care succulents with the same care in the same pot, and you'll be good to go. And then what we're gonna do is, after we put these succulents and make our pot, we'll just put a few little wood chips in here. Why not? Make it pretty. You know, these wood chips are not going to hold much moisture, and they dry out pretty fast. Just break them up. Don't put big ones in there. And this way you have a cute little cactus, you know, a nice little cactus planter. Be creative with it. My husband took my pine cones to work, so I was going to put pine cones in here, but He told me he's going to buy me a big succulent planter for Christmas, and I'm going to get that soon so we can transplant the rest of our succulents together, and you can see just how I make my arrangements. I'm going to get these other little hen and chicks in the back here, and that's it. You can leave it alone for about a week, and you'll have yourself a nice little succulent arrangement, guys. Till next time, I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, in like 4 or 5 days, you can give it a water. Succulents and cacti will be perfectly fine without water after transplanting. You should really wait when transplanting any succulent into a new container. This way you don't encourage rot. They really like to get root rot, and we don't want that. So just don't stuff your succulents too much, and you guys should be good to go. Happy planting. I hope you like and subscribe. And I look forward to doing more videos with you guys. We have a lot more here to see. Bye-bye.